All right, so here we got normal distribution. So this is section 12.4, and here we're going to talk about normal distribution. And normal distribution is a symmetrical bell curve, and this is as symmetrical as I managed to get it by hand, that goes around the mean. So your mean is here, okay? And it's even distribution of everything on one side or the other, okay? So as this part is the mean, right, we have something that's called the 68, 95, 99.7 rule. Whereas if I am one off on either side, okay, this is called one standard deviation on each side. So this would be a -1, this would be a +1, okay? We're saying that 68% of my data lies within one standard deviation above or below. Okay? If I go 2 standard deviations, so 2 on each side, okay, it is said that that 95% of my data lies 2 below or 2 above. Okay. And that 99.7% of my data lies within 3 standard deviations, 3 above or 3 below. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at a couple of problems. Okay, and I'm going to look at example 1. And I have female heights, okay, that have a mean of 65 inches. And a standard deviation, okay, standard deviation, okay, which is we usually call small s, okay. Standard deviation of 3.5. Okay, I want to find the height, which is 3 standard deviations from the mean, and I want them above the mean. Okay, so my mean is 65, and so 3 above would be my standard deviation of 3.5 multiplied by the number of standard deviations I'm going, because I'm going above, I'm using plus. Okay. When I go ahead and do the math for this, I end up with 75.5. I need inches. Okay, because they gave me that my mean was in inches. I need my standard deviation. 3 standard deviations above would be 75.5 inches. Make sure that you're putting your units in. Okay. If I were to do part 2 and I want 2 standard deviations below, I would take my mean of 65 and then I would subtract my standard deviation 3.5, multiply by the number of standard deviations I'm going below, and this would give me 58 inches. Again, units are important. Okay. Another thing that they can ask you to do is find a percentage of men with heights or women with heights. It doesn't matter. Okay, so for example 3 that you have, okay, you're given a normal distribution of male and adult heights, and they give you the data, okay, and I want to find the percent that are between 62 and 78 inches. Okay. Now 1 standard deviation below is 66. 2 standard deviations below is 62. So this is 2 below. Okay. 78 is 2 above. Okay. Remember, we're looking about my rules, okay? So this is my 95% rule. So 95% of men with heights of 62 to 78 inches, 95% of my data is going to fall in with that. Okay? If I'm looking at 70 and 78 inches, okay, 70 is my mean. Okay, 78 is 2 standard deviations above. Okay, this part this way, if it was the other direction too, is my 95%. But I'm only going one direction. I'm going from my mean, 2 standard deviations above only, but not below. So 2 standard deviations above is 95% or 95. Go ahead and divide that by 2 because I'm only using half my data. I'm not using the stuff that goes this direction. Okay? And when I go ahead and do this, I get 47.5%. Okay? If I'm above 74, okay, and standard 74 is 1 standard deviation above, but I want those ahead of that. So I want to go ahead and look at the difference here. Now the difference in there, right, is my 68%, right? So this follows the 68 rule, right? And then it goes 95 and 97.5, right? So that's my 1 standard deviation, 2 standard deviations, and 3 standard deviations. Okay? So if I'm going anything that's above, okay, take my 97.5, subtract 95. Okay? And then I got to divide that by 2. And what I'm looking to do is trying to find that area that sits here. Okay? When I do that, I get 2.35. Okay? I want to do the same for the 95 and the 68% rule, and I want to divide that by 2. And what I want to do is now I want to get this piece, and that'll be all the people I need above. Okay? And so when I do that, I get 1.35. Oh, 13.5, sorry, 13.5. I've got to watch my math. Let's fix that. 13.5. Okay, when I add them together, I get 15.85, which is a percent, because remember I divided a bunch of percents, which rounds up to 16%. So about 16% of my men are going to be above 74 inches. Okay, and we're going to come back in the next video, go ahead and talk about Z-scores and quartiles, and that will wrap this chapter up.